Where are you guys from?
Chicago.
Oh, well, no wonder you can appreciate corruption. That's
yeah. We're probably the worst state.
I know.
I talked yesterday to a mayor of a Chicago town. He was a mayor when Obama was senator, so he had a lot of dealing with him. And he told me a few stories. You can go to my website on the back of this get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton. And and you can, I'll hopefully have the video up before a few days.
Unfortunately, she'll probably never go to jail because they're too powerful, and
not anymore. Not anymore.
Can you see her going to jail?
I can see her dying of something and disappearing mysteriously, yes. I can see her going to jail. Yes. And then here's the reason. I'm going to give you a reason. Okay? You could shred it in the past. You could get in a room in their own words on electronic devices. We got them now.
Yeah.
We got them. They can't not. This is you.
No, I know. She smashed her phone.
But she smashed it.
I know. Understand. And the investigation is being reopened.
Yeah.
And there's allegedly up to 13. I've heard anywhere from 9,000 to 13,000 sealed indictments. They're going to come out because the Nunes memo was only 10%, 15% of what's coming out.
Oh, okay.
The DOJ comes out in a few weeks with their assessment. Yeah. That's going to add more people.
Doesn't it scare you, though, that there's so much corruption in the FBI?
This is me scared.
I've
been scared all my life. I've been going, wait! Doesn't anybody see this? Look! Look what they're doing!
I love it.
I mean...
Because it's like if the country can't trust the FBI, then it's like...
Well, I couldn't trust them back in the Kennedy assassination, for crying out loud. We knew, I was, and I'm telling you, it just came out a few months ago. They released the Kennedy paper. What did it prove? There were multiple shooters. Well, you'd think that would be big news in the Con News Network, huh? Sorry, wrong. Because there's a line they do not cross. If they're taking commercial money, and even Fox News, you watch them, half their commercials are pharmaceutical, so you're not going to hear about the poison vaccines. You're not going to hear about GMO foods, the chemtrails they spray us with.
And I do have one beef with those huge guns, the machine guns.
What machine guns?
No,
what I mean.
With the last school shooting.
Don't play Tucker Carlson.
I'm all for the Second Amendment.
Well, let me give you that.
I'm for the Second Amendment. No, let me 100%.
If I may. Because I'm schooled in propaganda. This is what I do. Okay? It's all propaganda. The AR-15 is not an automatic weapon. You have to pull the trigger like this each time.
Okay.
So it's just like a gun. Automatic weapons
killed
have
17 kids within minutes.
Wait.
Oh.
Again.
Okay.
If they can mow down 58 people in Las Vegas and we don't even know the motive, we can't see the autopsies, or we saw no children killed at Sandy Hook, and we can't see their autopsies, then don't tell me. If you watch the movie Wag the Dog, remember that movie with Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman?
So
if you've never seen it, I'm saying they can put anything they want on here, and all you know is what they're showing you. I was in the media. I just talked to another man here that was deep in the media.
So you're saying that man in Vegas mow him down with his...
I talked to 3 survivors right where you're standing that were in the kill zone. They saw a woman get shot right next to them. And I asked them, what was your experience? The first thing they said to me was, those shots came from ground level from 2 different directions.
Really?
You can go see on my website that interview. I talked the other day out here to one of the founders of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. These are guys that have put their lives and reputations on the line, saying these buildings came down by controlled demolition. Now, this is one of the most renowned architects and engineers in the world. He's built all over the world. And he stood out here, and we talked for 20 minutes how those buildings came down by controlled demolition. Now, do you hear that on Fox News? Do you hear it on NPR? Do you hear it anywhere?
What do you mean by controlled?
I'm saying those buildings came down by controlled demolition. I know I'm waking you up to a whole new world.
New York firemen that were there, and the jet fuel gets so hot,
no,
and that's what caused the metal.
No, absolutely not. Steel melts in a blast furnace in 2.5 hours at over 2,000 degrees. The hottest an open fire can get is around 880 degrees. So it's impossible to melt steel in the open air. You can't do it. And besides, these fires were cold. That's why it was black smoke. So, and then nothing explains building number 7. Building number 7, from where we're standing, from the Twin Towers.
I'm originally from New York. I knew people that were there.
I've talked to survivors out here. You guys, again, you can go to my website and see. I talked to people that were in Twin Towers. I talked to EMPs that were there that day that quit because the stuff that they went through wasn't reported. I talked to an EMP one time, on their way, they got 2 blocks away from the Twin Towers and stopped to do some, help some people that were injured. While they were there, a bomb squad came up to them and says, "Do not go any further." They said, "Oh, right over there, we got to go help people. There's people injured right down that street. We have to go. Stay right here, don't move." While they're sitting there wondering, what the hell is this guy ordering us to tell us we can't go do our job? The street they were going to go down, the cars started blowing up. Boom, boom, boom. They grabbed their cameras, started taking pictures of this. That night, the company calls up and said, "Everybody turn in your cameras." They did to get the pictures.
But why? What's the reason?
Well, who benefited? Who benefited from 9/11? It wasn't the Muslims. It wasn't us. And any crime has got to be a benefit. What was the agenda behind? Who benefited?
I'm confused.
The military-industrial complex and the national security state. We need enemies. We always need enemies. That's why it's right now, Russia. What did Russia ever do to us? They need enemies in order to justify the military-industrial complex. President Eisenhower warned us about this in the farewell speech. He said, "Beware of the military-industrial complex and the electronic elite, forming a cabal of surveillance and power that we'll never break out of." President Kennedy, in the speech before the UN Assembly, in the speech that got Kennedy killed, named the shadow government. Bigger than all governments. The people that really run things, the deep state, and the shadow government behind them. The oil companies, the bankers. So again, who benefited?
Watch it with those bankers.
Is that what you do?
What's happening? How you doing?
Brother man, good to see you.
Good seeing you, man.
Oh yeah, on a rant. But getting back to the
but it's like the Muslims. They're pissed off at us and that's why that happened.
We gave them the weapons. We started the wars. CIA documents and testimony and generals have testified that, we created ISIS. Yeah, we created Al-Qaeda. Yeah, Osama bin Laden was on the CIA payroll up until 9/11.
I'm talking about the airplanes that hit the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Were they not Muslims?
As far as we know, they were remote control.
No, get out of here.
Well, then explain to me, please, what brought down building number 7? That building from the Twin Towers, from where we're standing, to that brick building down there. It housed all 16 of our intelligence agencies and the mayor's emergency bunker. This thing was a fortress. At 5:20 in the afternoon, with not being hit by a damn thing, it did this in 6 seconds. Perfect controlled demolition straight to the ground. It wasn't even mentioned in the 9/11 report. Why not? 3 pools of molten metal were found to be burning under all 3 of these buildings for 2.5 months. Where did those pools of molten metal come from?
I need a drink on that.
I'm serious. Go to these websites on the bottom here. Go look at this. I know I've overturned your world. A lot of this, the reason they get away with it.
So do you like Trump a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me.
Well, you know what he said at the beginning of the campaign?
What?
This is what perked my ears up about him. You elect, and this is a quote, you elect me president, you will find out who really brought down the Twin Towers. In a debate or an interview right after, the day after, September 11th on the 12th? Yes, I could look it up. You can look it up right now when he said that.
Then how come he said that the Muslims and close by were laughing at us?
But they were.
No, and then why does
you can see those videos.
Then why did he say I'll tell you the truth about 9/11?
Why is
he banning certain countries from Muslims?
He's not against immigrants. He's against illegal immigrants and people that would harm us.
No, but he did put a ban on some Muslims.
Yes, the same people that Obama put the ban on. You didn't hear him screaming when Obama put the ban on the same people, did you? I mean, if you're living next to a bad neighborhood, don't you want to at least put up maybe a couple of gates to keep the thugs and the drugs out of your neighborhood?
Like all of Hollywood does.
You're listening to the propaganda here. I guarantee you.
Don't.
Listen to this. Listen to InfoWars. Listen to.
We have it in Chicago.
Listen. The reason you're going to get the truth from them is because they do not take money from commercials. They sell their own products. So they can cross that line. They can talk about the vaccines, GMO, and they can talk about 9/11 and get guys on there that are telling you the truth. I've spoken to guys out here again, that were there that day, were officials involved, a woman that was one of the Twin Towers when the plane hit, and told me their experiences. And their experiences that they tell have nothing to do with what these guys portrayed it to be. I mean, why haven't you never heard about building number 7? That was the 3rd largest collapse of a building in history. Why wouldn't we talk about it? Why doesn't NIST come out and tell us what brought it down?
I think that's the one my cousin works with, Deutsche Bank.
Yeah.
And it was starting to shift and stuff. They were coming down.
There were $15 billion worth of.
Is that the one that had the bridge that connected?
You
could walk through to one of the main towers.
No.
That's not it? I thought it was
building number 7 was the last building.
There's a bunch of them. There were a bunch of them.
Building number 7 was the last building built in the World Trade Center complex, the most modern, the most fortified. Again, it housed all 16 of our intelligence agencies and the mayor's emergency bunker.
And there was a bunch of gold there.
$15 billion that disappeared. Trying to remember the name. He was head of very.
Actually, one of the biggest things, believe it or not,
this guy was head of security, emergency security for the World Trade Center complex. Got the call. He was on his way. Got the call. Get here, quick! We're under attack. Walks into building number 7 where the command post was, and it's empty. Steaming cups of coffee, half-eaten sandwiches. He gets a phone call. Right? Get out of there now. As he's walking out, the bottom floors blow out. Him and another guy bust out a window and get rescued by the firemen. As he's walking down the street, you can see this video. He's going, this is who I am. This is what just happened to us. The whole floors blew up. I'm stepping over bodies in World Trade Center building number 7. A short time before he's getting ready to go testify before Congress, guys.
Well, how come some of these Muslims were on the FBI list, too?
Well, yeah, the Muslims are a scapegoat. Believe me, we created these guys.
But do you
We fund them. We make these guys. We are the. It's on record for crying out. You can listen to congressional testimony.
So you think those Muslim guys had nothing to do?
They weren't on the flight manifest. Matter of fact,
they were on the flight.
No, they weren't. They weren't on the flight manifest. You can look up.
They were taking.
Look at this up.
Pilot lessons.
5 of them were interviewed on BBC, English TV. 5 of them were interviewed on BBC. After the fact, they were alive.
No!
Look it up! I'm not lying here, lady.
Let's go get a drink. It was great talking to you, seriously.
Look it up.
Take care.
I know, I'm telling you, the reason they get away with this, because they do things that you would not believe. Believe it. They do it.
We'll check it out.
Please do.
Bye-bye.